Here at the Poker Channel, we continue to bring you the greatest moments from the world of poker. Passion, heartache, deceit, ecstasy. Every human emotion brought to the surface as the world's biggest stars take it to the felt. Your favourite bluffs. And timeless river moments.
And the river's a 7. I cannot believe it.
I love the poker. You guys don't know how bad I run at poker.
Brought straight to your screen and online. The Poker Channel, the home of poker.
It's the Full Tilt Poker $1 million cash game. We have a new face to join the crowd. It's Gus Hansen. He's sitting next to Phil Ivey.
Had a good night's sleep. Yeah, not as good as you, but he's okay.
Gus Hansen won the inaugural European Poker Masters here at 50 London.
Yes, so he's on home turf. The man he beat in the heads-up struggle that lasted over an hour is sitting 2 to his left and 2 to our right. It's Mark Goodwin.
Pass. 60 call. Cool.
And speaking of Mark Goodwin...
Well, yes, speaking of Mark Goodwin, here he comes.
Pass. A raise of 2-6. 4-2 play. 360 call. Pass.
Smurfett also here with an interesting hand, but not going to play.
Mark's making it quite expensive for anyone else, but Phil's reaching for his chips and he's decided to call.
Well, he's got ace crackers.
Yeah, good cards for cracking aces, the 7-9 of clubs.
2, 3.
That's right.
Check.
Well, that's a real safe flop for Mark Goodwin there.
I got 7,000. Pass.
Wasn't really the flop that Phil was looking for to crack the aces.
In a nutshell. Shooting with that little hundred ball when you bet 7. See how you like it, huh?
Tony, you've only played like 20 hands. How come you've decided to take a break from the table already?
I just think the players aren't in the mood to play big pots right now, and I think I could come back later and get some more action. So I'll go have dinner, have a nice time with my friends, and bounce back a bit later.
Have you been trying to like make the table a bit chatty? You've been trying to mix it up a bit, but no one seems to be biting, do they?
Yeah, I tried it, and it didn't work, and it's a cash game. It's a lot different than tournaments, and I just think that I'm better off sitting out for a while and coming back later once people are losing, are stuck for the game. And I had some fun early on, and I had my fun, and now I can go and come back.
Pass.
You just said you're the best player in the world. I did.
John joined the passes, so does Jennifer.
Come out of my mouth.
This is the ideal time for the professional to be stealing the blinds while everyone's involved in the conversation. Speaking of the consummate professional, here comes Phil Ivey.
Yeah, ace-6 of hearts there.
18.
Definitely a hand you can come in with in late position.
Call the 18. 15 to play.
And speaking of hands you can come in late position with, Mike Madisau deciding to take on Phil with the 3-6 of diamonds.
You know, funny, normally you think you're coming in with 3-6 of diamonds, you have live cards. But in this case, he's actually dominated.
Yes, it's true. Open 6s on the board would be a very, very bad thing for Mike.
7, 4, 6.
Well, that's a pretty good flop for Mike.
Yeah, they both have a piece of it here. Madisau with a pair and a gut shot.
Out of 3,000. And called.
A bet and a call.
7.
3 clubs there as well. This might slow at least Phil down. Might go into check call mode.
Check.
While it's less likely one of your opponents has a 7,
6,000.
obviously you have to be wary that he might have clubs.
There's not actually an awful lot of hands here that Phil can beat.
He can beat 4-5, 6-5, something like that. In this case, obviously 3-6.
Check. Check. On the backs.
Check there from Mike. If he'd have done another big bet there, he might have won this pot. As it happens, the check's cost him, as has the call before the flop with the 6-3 of diamonds.
Exactly. It's your best 5 cards in Hold'em. So while Mattisau has 7s and 6s, he has a jack kicker, and Phil Ivey has the ace kicker.
And that's going to be enough to take the money down.
There's not really the best poker player in the world. It's probably a list of maybe 5, 7, 10 players that can be considered the best poker players in the world. But Phil Ivey is definitely top 5, maybe top 3.
I want to play the best players, whoever they are. You know, that's just the way I think, you know. I don't ever sit down on the table and say, I wish I wasn't playing him.
What, you think because you dress like me, you could play like me? Have a nice day.
We play golf and we go out to nice restaurants and have a good laugh.
We go golfing and stuff. We gamble on the golf course a lot.
We play 50 grand a hole. It's not that much. It is that much. It's an obscene amount of money and we are sick. But that's, you know, you get to a level of gambling where you have to be sick. It has to sort of hurt a bit to play.
If we're not gambling or poker, we're usually gambling something else. So it's just the life we live.
Mike first to act. He mucks it.
Well, big hand for Alan Smurfett there.
Looks like he's just called. I can't actually see. Yeah, I think that's just 600. He's got the button now. The other two have passed, so it's just the blinds and Alan.
Gus Hansen being Gus Hansen.
Yeah, of course Gus is going to play. And Phil Ivey in the big blind with the 7-5.
Check. Check.
Phil on the phone while he's playing in a high-stakes cash game.
Now that's really interesting. Alan Smurfett actually checked the flop.
Maybe he's hoping. Yeah, maybe he's hoping to induce a bluff. He has allowed Gus to catch some of the turn, and it might get him paid for a bit of money here.
Well, Gus Hansen now has 2 pair. Ivey has a straight draw.
And Alan's called. So here comes the river. He's played it pretty slow.
And look at
now he's just made jacks full.
Well, at this point, you're hoping your opponent has an 8.
Yes, exactly.
Although it's just as likely with Gus Hansen and Phil Ivey that they could have nothing.
Well, that is true.
These two are so creative. 2 of the best in the game.
It's gone check, check. I think we're going to see a bet from Alan. The question is how much? $8,500 in the middle. How much do you want to bet in this spot, David?
Well, I have to tell you, in this case, you're only going to get called if somebody has an 8. Alan Smurfett has somewhat of a tight image.
Exactly. So
I might even overbet the pot. By overbetting the pot, sometimes you can make it look like a steal.
Exactly. But he's unlucky. Neither player has the 8. And Alan takes that pot down with jacks full.
Howie, you're playing awfully tight. The aces might come tomorrow.
Well, it's been 40 hands in. Jennifer Harmon up to 153,000. She's a big winner right now. Well, probably the guy they all came to play against, Alan Smurfett, the one they thought was going to be splashing it in. He's still increased his chips. He's up to 104,000, and he's not giving anything away, is he, David?
No, he's a really solid player. It's the one thing about poker is if you have the money, you can sit down with the best.
Here at the Poker Channel, we continue to bring you the greatest moments from the world of poker. Passion, heartache, deceit, ecstasy. Every human emotion brought to the surface as the world's biggest stars take it to the felt. Your favorite bluffs. And timeless river moments.
And the rivers of 7, I cannot believe it.
I love the poker. You guys don't know how bad I run at poker.
Brought straight to your screen and online. The Poker Channel, the home of poker.
Well, Lady Luck has picked the players that she's going to be shining on this evening. Can anyone else catch her eye? Let's rejoin our commentary team of David Tuckman and Gary Jones.
Alan Smurfett under the gun. He'll be first to act.
Looks like a limp from Alan with the pocket tens. Hoping to catch a couple of callers and maybe flop a set. Jennifer's in there with a 10-jack. Gus with an ace-4 of hearts.
Gus Hansen, one, always happy to oblige. He'll enter any pot.
Exactly. Mark Goodwin's in there with deuce-3 as well. Plenty of players.
Well, pretty nice.
This could be an interesting pot.
Yeah, pretty nice flop for Gus Hansen. He has flopped the straight. He has a wheel.
Yeah, but there's deuces and threes here for Mark.
And don't forget, Alan Smurfett's got the overpair.
2,200.
Well, he's betting it, and I don't blame him. And Howard's got deuces and threes as well. So that's even less cards for both Mark and Howard to hit.
And how do you play it if you're Howard Lederer here? You have bottom 2.
15,500 total.
Mike can't believe what he's seeing.
We've got a real exciting hand here. The pot is now 27,000. Howard Lederer has made it 15,000 to go.
It's going to be interesting. Do you think Gus has got any chance of actually passing this?
Well, look at Smurfett. Smurfett's got the overpair still, and he's going to get rid of it. He knows it's no good.
Exactly. Jennifer's passed, and it's round to Gus. Is there any way he might actually lay this hand down?
You know, he's got the second best hand possible. He can only lose to 6-4 here. I don't see how he can possibly let this go at this point.
Looks like he's got a call. Maybe he wants to phone a friend.
Well.
Well, there's Mark Goodwin sitting there with the same hand as Howard Lederer.
You know, when the action gets back to Mark, you've got to put somebody on a set, though, at this point, don't you?
You'd have to think at least a set.
Hello?
I really think he's generally thinking about passing this hand.